Hello and welcome in. I am MissKinghorn and we are back here in The Sims 4 and we are also back with our Newcrest mini save. Now, for anyone who doesn't know, this is going to be a collection of 5 semi-posh, I guess we could call them, suburban homes for a wide variety of kind of different families and households in here. So this is number 3. We have one for rebellious teens. We have one for a newly widowed single father, and now this one is a kind of big 5 sim family home in here with 3 kids. So they have their teenage daughter, their child daughter, and then a toddler boy. So it's quite busy, quite a hectic kind of family home, but yeah. Now, you might be able to tell from the heart of this that the UI is broken. This, I started recording just after the update came out, and obviously the mods were slightly broken, so by the end of this video, they will all be fixed by the wonderful power of sort of Twisted Maxi and the wonderful work he does in there. And you also have the toggle like with the tips and of controls and stuff that can be switched off if you go to the tips and tutorials in your user settings, and then you can just change that off, which is what I did before I even started this, because yeah, those things are annoying. I kind of get them for like new players, but I feel like if you've been here a while, it's like, why are you showing me a game? Anyway, that's just my personal thought. I don't know, let me know if that's something you're interested in, knowing some of the keys and sort of tips and tricks of sort of the controls for the game as well. I haven't really done any tutorials in terms of like on YouTube here. I think I kind of did like mini versions when I was doing live streams over on Twitch, because I feel like if you asked a question I could just answer it there and then and show you. Now, sort of I'm just on YouTube, I don't really get that opportunity, so maybe I will sit down and do a couple of tutorials. I don't know, let me know if there's something that would interest you. But I was off last week, I apologise for that. I decided, well, I I caught a really bad, nasty cold, and I just did not have the ability to record or do a voiceover or edit anything. So I took a couple of days off, which hopefully will not become the norm in here, but we are back. And we've had quite a bit of news in the meantime. I feel like I've missed out on quite a lot by being ill in here. So as I say, we've had the new update, and it didn't really stop there. We had the roadmap, which didn't really give us much of a roadmap. It was kind of a roadmap of a roadmap, because it was just for the whole sort of franchise rather than just for The Sims 4. But we are obviously going to be getting a Sims 4 roadmap soon in here. But we know we have got the Nature's Calling event, which is going to be starting on the 24th of June and runs until the 5th, I believe it is, of August. So you've got a good 6 weeks to do all of that, where you have lots of different goals and lots of prizes and sort of like objects. And I think there's a couple of CAS items in there as well, if I'm not mistaken. I gotta be honest, I'm not a big lover of these kind of events. I'm a builder. I don't do gameplay. The closest I get to gameplay is telling my Sims to sit down, make some toast or eggs and toast, make a drink, go to bed, have a shower, just to make sure that things work. I don't really do anything else really than that. So these kind of events where I have to like play through and it takes forever, I don't have time. Simply put, I do not have time on top of everything else to do that. But, you know, we get free items from it, so should I really complain? Yes. I don't necessarily know how usable these items are for me. I think we'll have to sort of see in that whether they become useful. I don't know. Let me know. Again, I'm asking lots of questions to start this video. Let me know what you think down in here. We also have our next EP. So the Enchanted by Nature. I'm not sure if it was kind of leaked or if they kind of just went, yeah, you kind of already know about it, so we're just going to tell you. Now we're getting fairies. Going back to the fact that I don't do gameplay, I'm not a big occult lover. You might have noticed when it comes to my builds, I'm not somebody who does werewolf homes or vampire houses for them, or Rule of Magic, or any of those sorts of things, because one, I was never really into like the films, the books, or kind of the lore to go behind them. Two, I don't really know what I need for each of those lots. I feel like they need specific items and I just don't know, and I'm just not really interested in them. So yeah, I'm like kind of, I just don't know. I'm not a lover of them. I have to be honest in there. But what I am interested in is the new world. So it's is green. I think that's how we're pronouncing it. I may be completely and utterly wrong. It's in as in like a kind of an old pub in the UK. So it's double N. But hey, that's the new world. It has 3 neighbourhoods. So we have a waterfront town, a grove, which is where the fairies apparently live, and a magical enchanted forest. So if you lose me for any particular time, that's where I'll be. Yeah, that I've got to be fair, the world sounds really nice. All of the Sims 4 worlds look and feel really nice. At least the new ones. The old base game ones, nah. But you can usually find me in the woods. I am somebody who loves nature, and I mean I work with it every day, but yeah, that's something that's really interesting to me, and obviously how that all works in there. So I'm imagining kind of tall green trees, kind of like scrubland underneath, hanging lights from the trees, kind of nice wandering paths, maybe a bubbling sort of stream next to it. That's kind of what I'm imagining. I might be completely and utterly wrong, but yeah, I can pretty much tell you now, most of my builds with this new world are probably going to either be in the forest or in the town, and that's without even seeing it. They just sound like where I'm going to build. But let me know what you think. If you have any ideas, any suggestions for builds, or what you would like to see from the new pack, from New World, let me know. And the final item of news is a board game. Again, I'm somebody who loves a good game. I'm somebody who loves The Sims. I don't really play board games though. Like, you know, occasionally at like the Christmas or something, we might play like Monopoly, or we might get out a sort of alternative kind of game. But like once a year for like 3 days, and then I'm kind of done with it. I don't know how much it's going to cost. I don't know really any of the features for it. But like, it's not really going to be a family game that I think we could play as a family. I don't know. Maybe, possibly, perhaps. I think I need to know more information about it before I can make any kind of choices. But it doesn't sound that interesting to me, I have to be honest. But let me know, what do you think in there as well? Right, that's all of the news. Back to this build in here. We've been going for 9 minutes and I've not told you anything about this. So, this is number 3 in the Suburban list. This is for, as I say, a big family of 5, and it is a very busy, kind of chaotic kind of household. They do lots of kind of activities, there's lots of fun going on. I did actually have to cut out the back garden when it came to this speed build. It was just going to be way too long. So you might have noticed there's little bits that is already done. There is a swimming pool, there is a tree house, there is some sun loungers, there's also like a dining table and a barbecue area all out there. it's pretty sort of standard stuff, and then just some big bushes and kind of a fence to cover up the whole area in there. And then this sort of house in here. I'm still loving the windows we got with the birthday update, where we've kind of got some really simple, kind of normal windows. They are perfect for them. I've used, I think, a different base game window for the downstairs, but then on the upstairs I need a slightly smaller kind of glass, all black kind of framed windows in here. So if you are new to this series or this mini save, then basically all of the houses are completely white on the outside, but they have like black kind of trim and black roofing, and kind of the accents of it are all kind of completely black in there. I think it just adds a really nice contrast between the two colours. And I am building these off of a set I got from a they were just sort of online as a whole big sort of set. You could not necessarily buy, because I didn't, but you can view the whole sort of catalogue, and I think it's kind of like a architect or something has kind of rendered them and kind of made them, and you can say, right, I want that one or that one. That's kind of what I'm thinking they're from. I don't really know too much about that, but anyway, I'm waffling. You've seen the main living room. This is now kind of the kids' living room. So this house I built from the outside, so the only images I really have is the front sort of straight on look. That's great until you kind of have to come and do the sides and the back, and you don't know how long it is, you don't know how wide, you like, is there extra pop outs, is there any other things? It makes it quite difficult. So I did the outside, and then I kind of came in and had to do the floor plan. Normally I show you the floor plan. I didn't today because the floor plan took about an hour. It was a nightmare. I went round and round in circles. The stairs basically moved from kind of the left wall to the right wall to the front to the back. They kind of ended up in the middle, which kind of worked out okay. But then I had an extra room, and the living room is quite small and it doesn't have as many seating as I would really need. This room could have been the main living room, but then I didn't know what to do with the fireplace, and it basically, I had to go round and round, and in the end we thought, let's have a kind of separate kids space where they can make a mess, they can make a noise, they can watch whatever TV shows they want in there, they can play on their consoles, they can, yeah, it's their room. And so I figured that would be the perfect place to put that in there, instead of having a downstairs bedroom, which would have made the bedrooms upstairs a little bit bigger, but probably more difficult to floor plan and work out. So yeah, that's basically what we're doing in there. Now we're moving over to the kitchen space, or kitchen diner really, because this is a big kind of all-in-one kind of room at the back here. There is going to be another door just on the side there. There is like steps that go down. I did the steps, I did kind of the outside kind of raised area to get them down. I forgot to put the door in. So where eventually the aprons and stuff go, that has a doorway leading out into the garden, because I figured you would need another one of those in there. But anyway, I am still loving the kitchen clutter kit. As you can probably tell by the fact that we have got so much of it in this build, or just in this kitchen really, there is, I think I literally toggled by that kit, and yeah, we have gone for a nice soft kind of green kind of flow all the way through the downstairs of this as well, and I think it actually really works in here because it's quite a nice kind of calming kind of simple palette as well, which really works in here. And then obviously again pulling in the black kind of accents of the sink, the fridge freezer, the coffee maker, and then some of the individual items. And then I'll have used some like dark wood here and there to kind of mix it all together. And then using this gorgeous round table. Now I did not realise we had these chairs. These chairs were a new one to me, but they worked in here really well. And I figured it's breakfast time, maybe the kids have just gone to school or whatever, and they've left the cereal and the milk on the table, and you know, they're just waiting for somebody, probably mum, to come in and tidy up after them, and I thought this would work perfectly. And now we even have the little milk bottles that came with the Back to the Future event. It just fills in that space really well because we don't normally have anything like that. We do actually have milk bottles in game, but they're actually like an item that kind of can spoil, and I don't tend to use those simply because by the time I come through, I've play tested, I've screenshotted, and then I'm in a position to kind of upload it. They've spoiled, so I don't really use those a great deal. But now we have jumped upstairs to the little office space in here, so I figured that the parents would kind of want a little space up here just for themselves. Maybe one of them works from home, or they have like after work activities, maybe the odd business call that they have to take in there, and I figured a nice little space up here. Maybe this room here that's actually going to be the toddler room used to be their office, but they've had another child and they needed the space, so they've bumped the parent out onto the landing, and now have this little room in here. Now, I struggle when it comes to bedrooms for kind of children in here and toddlers and sort of infants and that. So when I do go, I tend to go all in, and you'll see it here. It's all looking pretty nice. And then I go in for the stencils. So I hope you like Under the Water, because yeah, there's quite a lot of stencils for fish in here, and yeah, it was one of those things. I don't really know what to do when it comes to here, so I was just like, yeah, you know, we've got fish on the wallpaper, let's just go all out with it. I kind of want to go for like a neutral kind of bedroom at some point, but that's not going to be in this build. Maybe, possibly, perhaps at one point in here. But nice little bed light, nightlight in here, and then some toys as well. We have got the high chair up here. There isn't one downstairs, and there is also a potty. Again, there isn't one downstairs. There is 2 bathrooms in this build, so the downstairs one just has a bath, and the one upstairs has a bath shower combo. I'm doubting myself. You can probably hear it in my voice. I think it's just a bath downstairs in here. But anyway, we have now jumped over to the child's bedroom, which, again, this took a while because I was not sure what I really wanted to do, but I went poster mad. Kind of the same as like next door with the stencils. I kind of got quite a few posters out, and we've kind of smooshed them all together and kind of made a little collage wall in here for her of lots of sort of different bits and pieces, lots of posters of maybe some like singer or something that they really like, maybe some TV show or something like that, and I thought it would all work really well in here. And then we kind of get out the normal bits and pieces. So this dresser, a wardrobe in here, I think it just sort of neutralises down a little bit more. It was feeling very pink, and that's not something I particularly wanted when it came to this build. So, or at least in this room, I kind of wanted to settle it and go a little bit pastel and a little bit more neutral in here. So yeah, we do have a desk in here as well, which has I don't think I put a computer. I put like a little tablet in there because I feel like that's something that they would have maybe as like a starter computer where they could like play little games, but it's all very like safe. I feel like now we kind of just give children like a tablet and let them loose onto YouTube for like TV shows they've missed or kind of want to watch on repeat and things like that. That's great until you actually realise that it's a nightmare for YouTubers. But yeah, I feel like something like that, you can just kind of watch them on your tablet, take it wherever you want to go, and things like that. This sort of is one of those kind of builds in here. So it's a little bit more neutral, but it is still very pink, but it's soft. It's not a kind of bright in your face bedroom. And given the fact that how small this room is, so this originally was going to kind of be mixed in with the nursery to kind of create one big main sort of bedroom for them. When I had the original plan was to have the parents downstairs with an ensuite and then the 3 children upstairs, but if I did that I wouldn't really get too much space. In here the bedrooms will be too big, so that's kind of where I split this one, and I feel like they've kind of got the short straw and got the little boxy rooms. But now we're jumping over to the main bedroom in here, so you can also sort of see the other sort of main bathroom for this house in here. It does have a shower bath combo, and then all of your other bits and pieces. I did come through beforehand and place like radiators, kind of where they would normally go in a home like this, and I think I also put in light switches as well. Just those little kind of details that make it feel a little bit more realistic in here as well. And then with this bedroom I've kind of gone very subtle. I actually found an item picture on Pinterest, a really kind of neutral, kind of grown up bedroom in here, and I thought this would just work perfectly for what I really wanted in here. So we've got in some more pillows, because this bed, you can never have too many pillows on your bed in here. And then this actual picture in here had a huge big sort of shelf above the bed and lots of kind of plants, and yeah, it was just kind of a really nice green sort of lush space where the plants were cascading over the front and the sides. And yeah, I actually had quite fun doing this. It was quite a nice build. I haven't really done anything kind of like this. I feel like it may clip into your Sims faces if they were to sit up in bed. I've got to be honest, it didn't when I play tested this. There is enough space on here, but I thought it just feels like a really nice kind of, like a little bit of plants to come through, but they're not in the way, they're not kind of shoved into every corner of this, where there are plants everywhere, but I feel like up here above the bed is kind of a neutral kind of adult space, so they wouldn't get damaged too much by little fingers. And maybe they are like more expensive kind of rarer plants maybe that they've taken away from kid zones and placed up here as well. And then we are getting the dresser in here. I didn't get an actual like wardrobe in here. I've just kind of got this little sort of chest of drawers, which I think works perfectly fine in here for them. It's actually from Parenthood, which was a long time ago, but it really works. And yeah, it just kind of adds a nice little touch of kind of black coming into this bedroom where there's lots of gold coming through. So I wanted to kind of bring back those sort of accent colours that we've used elsewhere in the build coming through into here as well. And then we get this kind of empty sort of, maybe like more dresser space, like maybe one's her wardrobe and one's his, that kind of thing. And then just had television above that, so they can sort of sit or lay in bed and watch the telly when maybe the kids have gone to bed, or on like a lazy Sunday morning and you just don't want to really get up or something like that. A nice little space in here. But now we're on to the final bedroom, which is the teenage girl's bedroom, and I've gone a little bit brighter in here. We've kind of gone for this sort of like pinky kind of red colour. I absolutely love this colour, and I feel like I use this bed in this swatch a lot. One thing I would really say, and I know custom content creators do it a lot, but the Sims team never have, and I don't really know why. Maybe it's probably to do with like the item count for many packs. I would like this bed in a black kind of metal finish rather than the kind of gold kind of brassy kind of finish we've got here. I just feel like a nice black trim on that bed would actually work a lot better. It might just be me, but as I say, I know custom content creators come through and they create like the bed frame and then the mattress and the bed topper, that sort of thing. I would like to see that added properly into game, because I think like that's something that we are missing, is that wide variety of sort of different beds in here in the game. It's never gonna happen, but you know, it's one of those items that I think we are desperately missing out on in here. Now, talking of items of when I playtested, the kind of set of like clothes and books and stuff that's on the floor here, I do actually have to move that to the other side of the bed because your Sims couldn't get to the desk when I was playtesting that. So I've literally just moved it from this bottom corner where it currently is to the other side, which does mean they can't really use the other side of the bed. But I feel like for a teenager, it's not that big of a deal that they can only use one side of the bed. They're not really going to need two sides, and if they really wanted to, they could like smoosh over on top. You can switch sides that way. I feel like that just gives it a nice kind of touch into there. But we are finished with this build. If you have enjoyed it, then please give a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. But until next time, bye everyone.